We are happy to announce the launch of our new logo. We have evolved since our incorporation in 1997, and it is time to refresh our new look to reflect who we are today. Before I reveal our new look, however, walk with me while I take you through our journey of the last 25 years. Trust Bank was incorporated on July 3rd, 1997 and began operations on October 1st, 1997. Following the collapse of the parent company of its predecessor, Meridian, the CBG stepped in and recapitalized the bank and held the shares in trust, thus the name Trust Bank. In 1999, the first investors who responded to the IPO and paid $1.50 per share received their maiden dividend of 50 bututs per share. In 2000, the bank fully paid back its investment by declaring another dividend of $1.20 bututs per share, making it a cumulative dividend per share of $1.70, which was 20 bututs above the purchase price. Between 2002 to date, share capital has increased from $27 million to $200 million, indicating that the bank has grown organically by plowing back profits to increase capital, while at the same time paying dividends to shareholders. The bank was listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange in November 2002, being the first ever cross-border listing in the sub-region. Now let's talk about awards. The bank was awarded the insignia of the National Order of the Republic of the Gambia, ORG, in the year 2010 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia. During the past years, the bank has received so many national and international awards. Banker Magazine, 6 times. Global Finance, 6 times. Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, 5 times. We began operations with 3 branches. Now, we have 18 branches and 20 ATMs and counting. On digital services, mobile app, check. Online banking, check. Transaction alerts, check. Watch this space. We've got more coming. Creating employment, yes, we've got that too. 400 and counting. And we take great care of our people too. Medical insurance, life insurance, private and state pensions, annual pilgrimages for both Muslims and Christians, training, yes, we do them all. One team, one family, one goal. That's the Trust Bank spirit. On corporate social responsibility, we have spent over $50 million in various causes. We care, and so we share. Over the years, we have paid over $1.6 billion to our shareholders, which translates to a whopping $20 per share and counting. Phenomenal returns for our shareholders who purchased at $1.50. Corporate taxes, over $1 billion is paid. Our journey started with a vision to create the kind of company that delivers quality services and innovative products with an inspired team dedicated to serving our customers, our environment, and our communities at large in the most caring manner. We remain fully committed to delivering excellent services to each of our stakeholders, customers, employees, shareholders, and partners. So, we remain true to who we have always been. As we look forward to greater achievements, we are rebranding to reflect who we are today and the future that we inspire. Our new logo has been designed to visually demonstrate our Gambian heritage and the sophisticated nature of the bank. We are moving away from the navy and gold-colored parallelogram-shaped logo to our baobab tree with a rising sun in the background. The striking outline of a baobab tree at sunrise is a familiar sight to anyone who has spent time in the Gambia. Our new logo and visual identity are inspired by our core values and spirit of being a pioneer in providing a unique banking experience. It is a completely new look that better matches the transformation we have made as a company. But we remain your Trust Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor to present to you our new logo and corporate identity.
You have to.
I hope you understand now.
Yes.
This is your withholding tax certificate.
Thank you.
Sorry, sir. Give me a few minutes. Let me finish with her. I am not here to sit. I received an alert from my bank
It's like you made a mistake. The amount in the account is different invoice I issued to you.
No, there is no mistake. We deducted 10% as withholding tax.
Withholding what? In fact, what is withholding tax?
As he just told me, withholding tax on contract payments is a deduction from payment made to contractors carrying out work, supply of labor or materials, and or provision of technical or consultancy services. 10% is withheld for Gambian residents and 15% for non-Gambian residents. The contractees remits the amount withheld to the nearest JARE tax office in the month of deduction or on or before the 15th of the following month.
What's my interest?
You will be issued a certificate which you should take to GRA when you go to pay your quarterly and annual tax.
What happens to the 10% deducted from my invoice?
That 10% will be less from your tax liability.
So it means the 10% is an advance payment of my tax liability. And I only pay the difference of my tax due for my quarterly and annual payment.
Correct, sir.
Buba, you should have told me this. We all know for any meaningful development to take place in a country, we must pay our taxes.
And on time.
This information is from the Gambia Revenue Authority. For more detailed information about your withholding tax obligation, please visit any of the nearest GRA offices. The Gambia Revenue Authority, collecting revenue for national development.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Biliomatic exercise book printing machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Biliomatic printing machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
Airport Residency Estate is a gated community located in Old Yundum, proudly developed by Swami India, perfect for all looking for a quiet life with luxury amenities within an enclosed setting. When talking about the benefits of living in a gated community, safety and security is top on the list. They allow extra privacy, take away the hustle of unwelcome solicitors, and create a safe haven for children to play in a trusted environment without traffic or speedy vehicles. A great sense of community develops through the meeting at a controlled communal leisure facilities, offering an integrated lifestyle. A green environment and well-managed communal areas are keys to higher home standards, elevated quality of life, and better property value should you consider home reinvestment in the future. Added to all is the location, just next to the airport and reconstructed main road, yet tucked in the tranquility of nature. Our purpose is one: your satisfaction. Contact us. Let us help you build your dream home in the Gambia.
This season on Kerr Fatou.
The reason I have always called for a national dialogue is because A government must be responsive to the needs of its people.
Fatou.
Tell you one thing, if me as an individual, if I know that there is somebody that I definitely wrong, I will be bold enough. I will go to the person. I will appeal to him and apologize him.
I have to make decision today because I don't make decisions lightly. I investigate. I do my research. I get the facts. I call the experts. I summon meetings. I get the technicians. Then I reflect and I make a decision.
Why did you lose the election?
Well, we lost the election because of cheating and registration. We had evidence of people being registered before the opening of the registration.
Program on coming Natalie Aramisa, of course, but be the program okay can on Monday by the campaign schedule so be duntanyo kono ngalonko candidate on Nyanta Mr. Wednesday we tala debate la, so to be able to accommodate that, so na series or continuation with candidates from Banjul, KM, BCC, Brikama Area Council, of course, Amedi the Brikama Area Council candidates on Nyanta Mr. And today Yankuba Darboe na candidate na file le KM. Bakari was supposed to be here last week, but he did not. Talib will be here on Thursday. And of course in Banjul Ngarohima Sotole Ibu Fai has still not responded to our call. Hopefully before the end of this week, by the election on Saturday, Ibu Fai will respond. But if not, we continue. Of course, BSA Namisoto Wolom Yankuba T. But before that, Oji Jalo, Mialonko, former Minister of Agriculture, an elderly statesman kunung ko wole banta jamin kata folo nse sango kontong the Jalo family entire PPP family oje do ko min ke banko ka mote o sata nola phenomenon ka kumaya ta wotombe molbe konton na sangola dimbaya nimpatio, of course the government and the people of the Gambia as a program be all to be.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fatou. Just puruka afodoronko besango konton na Jallo family, the government of the Gambia, and the entire Gambia, ben suno ning nikuya ning balafa itandela, mola meanonko ay banko doko ke banko since the First Republic, Jawara time was Minister of Agriculture. Ngalong kabin tolibe, even when we were younger, even though Jamela time, but at some point ka OJ Moela, OJ Jalo, you know, it's a name me anonka familiar taleno. So another fan under the Barrow government, I do cook, but then même fon gena fenkata farman satala koto bake during the days of the dictatorship. Even though he was in government, he was in the PPP, but he was one of those ministers they suffered torture in the hands of the junta at the time. The revelations were made at the TRRC. So he withstood all those suffering that he went through. PPP fana muda at least kapatini muda ka revive kind of pura murna back to life. I think he really contributed a lot to that. Just that towards the end men nata ke PPP nata fara misunderstanding men ketaje. But then I don't go Gambia and then one fenite me alonko all of us recognize it. Momo yalonko dunta political kono sako dinno men ko dunta political kono ngamira jama even the mayor of KMC Taliban Suda, ala Fenko Nintonga say the message toko Oje had always encouraged him to go into politics. So ala signing balafa water banko be sunering bari be ala Daniela Fanang ase ala laja Masoni and Dabulu Fanang ay yamfala junubol ay melke ala boydalto and ala bato fanam muta ala sadamunko fanam membulu tolmeli alon ko en tujang
Thank you very much, Esa Yankuba. First, welcome to the program. Program. Actually, this is the first time until basically the candidate you announced. You have been on the brunch and also on the brunch, on the political and the grand bantaba. But for our show, let's see for lot.
Baraka Kerr Fatou, and then Baraka Esa, Ngal Tendo Ngal Jay. Jiber labe dawda hanin lamoy lalum be fanan be tendulan be jayila Comme ya fanyame follow be na condolence ni by extend that to the bereaved family of Omar Ahmed Jallow, famously known as OJ Jallow. OJ was a household name in the Gambia, and he's been a veteran politician who had, we would say, inspired a lot of Gambian young politicians like ourselves. At some point in our life, he's been inspirational. So, ala sango kunum ay ngamra banko be sunu be dualae for ala san so arjana la ala say am fala shortcomings la, and then I reward abundantly for his sacrifices for the country. I kuja wale taking banko la kuoto, and then especially 2016 coalition on him. Katabaka would like Kambundi can usher us into the, I think is the Second Republic or the Third Republic, whatever that is. So Womukule Temianko, I think as a country we are greatly indebted to him and his sacrifice and his struggle for a better democracy in the Gambia. Hopefully, I think his name will forever be etched indelibly etched in our memories, and we'll always remember him as a true statesman and honorable gentleman of this country.
Thank you very much. Now going into the show first, covering Yankuba banner. I think I saw it with somebody on social media. I'm like, it never rang a bell. From a legal background, Yankuba Darboe, I think my first encounter with you was covering diaspora, in the struggle, how you stood to fight against the dictatorship. Ala Cairo Radio, Kibaro Radio, and the Freedom Radio. I remember this so many times in Impanderi, defending people and also fighting against the dictatorship. Even when the new Gambia came, you continued your profession in the UK, helping people and be an immigration lawyer, especially to many Gambians who needed that. What changed? Mune Yankuba inspired to run for office, especially for the Brikama Area Council?
So, many things. But firstly, I would have to give credit to Molu Menuyang Hakil Nyima Soto Kankumane, Kafunye ko Ndelnga Mirenyan Talula Brikama Area Council Chairmanship position oton. So follow Kabriya Foyalo I was watching one of these series on Amazon Prime. So Muji Vega Ndoma Aliu Solem Command Badara Pulo Command
Badara
Kunya Hayalo Ganyan Kuja Nyami Nyantalolale and BAC as a chairman. It's a very big opportunity for West Coast. And on Nilota, we have great hopes in you that there is a lot you can do in developmental for failures and so many things. So Kabra Avonya initially convailing Kabringa telephone I can't feel maybe because I was thinking it never came across my mind coming to run for the position. But Kabrin Wakeda then I didn't take it serious. Then someone else called me. This is something I need to think about. But the first thing I need to ask myself is, what can I do for West Coast? Is it something that I can do? If I cannot do it, why would I sacrifice everything that I was having in the UK and then come back and then try to run for something that which I am not going to be able to deliver on? But I sat down and I said, you know what? This is something that I can do. It's not only these people having that belief or that opinion about me, but this is something I have all the skill set to be able to do it. One of the things I have to have is I have to be a honest person. I don't have to be greedy, but I have to also understand the challenges people are facing in the region and then be able to think of the solutions, things that can be able to solve those things. And how am I going to get that one done? So these are some of the things that I started mulling over. And then I said to myself, you know what? Yes, this is something that we can do, and we can transform West Coast. You see, all along, there is that thing that always dragged me to politics, and that's why I was very active even in the Jammeh days. And that is, I would say, is the sense of patriotism. But it's also, I was in the West, I was in the UK, and I've seen so many things. And I always wish that we can have those ones here. You see what I mean? But these are things that I always think that only a president can be able to do that. But I thought of saying that's one of the reasons why I was desperate for Darboe to become a president, because I have so many brilliant ideas, and he is someone who does listen to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is one of the things that I was thinking we could do when he is there, and we are able to transform a lot of things and change a lot of things in the country. So I was thinking along that line. But now I said, you know what, this now gives me an opportunity. Then it would have been top-down approach.
Yeah.
But this time around, we have to do a bottom-up approach.
Yeah.
So we start at the local level and think of when we get to the top one. So some of the things that I thought of is, I live in Jeddah, in Brikama Jeddah, and one of the roads, the feeder roads that we have, which is Bawanjai Road, I remember when I was here, this is when I was there thinking, I remembered when I was here then, we had to pay money. I usually have to contribute, let's say before the rainy season, we had youths that would come around and they would seek for funds so that they can secure at least or get this gravel trip.
Yeah.
So maybe 1 or 2 truckload of gravel, and they will pour it on there, they will spread it, and then try to do the best they can to repair so that the road can be usable in the rainy season. Otherwise, we all have to abandon that road, and you have to use several roads in order to get to the main road. So I thought of all of that can easily be fixed only if we have the right people at the right place. And like the famous quote said, be the change that you desire. And I want to be that change.
How difficult was that decision? Ngalonko, as a lawyer, your one client pay, wala siyata BAC chairman la Kerr Fatou, but it's not even up to 50,000. But to leave all of that, go to the kana run for office. How difficult was that decision?
Very difficult. It's not only the monetary aspect of it, but you know, there are some of the cases that you are a lot more attached to as well. You want to see the end of it. You even believe that you are the only person who understands the case a lot more, and you are the only person who can deal with it. If you give it to any other person, something could happen down the line. So it came here. So money wasn't the only problem, but detaching from your clients. And immigration, if you practice immigration, it's one of these recurring sort of thing that this year they will come to you, you make an application for them, they're given 2.5 years, they come back to you. And then we have this route system in the UK. Some of them are placed under what we call 10-year route before they get settled. Some are placed under 20-year route. So you are the one that they depend on. Some of my clients are not in a position where they can apply for anything. So they are in that illegal state. They depend on you totally. Every day, some of them are a lot more paranoid. That's how the situation is when you are in this kind of situation. Hani police you have to be that assuring. It's like they depend on everything you said. You know. And then disconnecting all of that is not easy. But in a sense, if you also look at the situation that, let's say, Brikama market is in, and then you get bombarded by that one every day, and the situation of our roads, how our women are struggling, and the whole plight of Gambians, contrast that to that, it makes it a lot more easier for you to say, you know what, I have to get in there. I have to do whatever I can to make sure I be that change that I always desired for my people.
Talking about that change, Yamina B, what is, if you would assess Brikama, the West Coast region. I'm a resident of West Coast. I'm from West Coast also. I'm from Lamin Mandinari, and I saw you and I said to Silfo, that's my yard. You are in my area, Mandinari, Lamin. But if you give us an assessment, Mira, Brikama, West Coast region, a situation to be you seeking for that mandate. What is the situation? Neighbor assess.
So the situation in West Coast is bad. If I may put it mildly, it will be bad. If I am blunt, I will say it's terrible. The reason being is that you can go to many communities. In fact, I would say maybe 80% of the communities, they will not be able to point to anything that which they can say, this was done for us by our local area council. That by all standards is a huge failure. But the big failure for West Brikama Area Council is the lack of revenue. If you look at their budget, each year they're talking about, they are making about 85, I think the last one is 85. Even though they're projecting, the last projection they had, or the estimated budget they've made, was that they're going to make 150. But in reality, they're getting about 85, 83. Last year it was 83, this year they're running towards 85 or something like that. Now, for a council like that, if you look at their budget line, everything is eaten away by their expenses and a whole lot of other things. So such an organization in that state will not be able to make any meaningful development in this region. And the region is very big, with so many issues, with so many developmental needs at the moment. You go to because the region is ever growing. There's a lot of migration coming. We have people migrating from KM to the West Coast, people migrating from Banjul to West Coast, people migrating from LRR. Everybody is coming to West Coast. We have Taft City being built in West Coast. All the estates are in West Coast. That's where everything is happening. For such a overpopulated or population, huge population, it demands a lot of it has a lot of needs.
Yeah.
And if the council is not there to help them with those needs, you can see the challenge that the residents of West Coast will continue to have. So you have new settlements, they have roads that were done for them or constructed for them by estate agents. Those roads, due to lack of maintenance, have all gone dilapidated, and those people are now struggling. The ones that are not done through real estates, those ones, the planning itself is terrible. Roads are not even straight. They are left, right, and center. And then to make matters worse, there's no proper drainage, water logs everywhere. And this is a big problem for them in rainy season after rainy season. We cannot live in a society that is not willing to register progress annually. I left London. If I should return there in a year or so, it will be completely transformed. I might have to look at sat-nav to be able to go to certain places. And these are places that I am very much accustomed to. But now if I go back, I'll have to depend on sat-nav to be able to maneuver my way around there. That is because they are not, even though they are a developed nation, they are not sitting down and said, we are happy with everything we have. They are trying to change. It's only our system where we have an area council that would get 80 million or 85 million year out, year in, and they are so happy with it because they're able to get their salaries or whatever they're getting. They get that and they're all happy with that. Even though no new road has been built by Brikama Area Council for the last 5 years, except one little 550 meters road in Brikama. That is the road connecting Brikama police station, just is the Christian church there, the parish church there, to the Gunjur Junction. That's the only one they were able to construct in the last 5 years, concrete one, for $9 million.
So what would Chairman Darboe do? What is going to be your plan? Let's look at your plan for BAC. What is your plan
so
for
first
BAC?
thing we need revenue. There's a revenue shortfall on West Coast. And it's not because of we don't have the revenue potential. It's the collection of that revenue That's where there's a lot of dubious activities happening. So nyanta tala would lalle nyanta raglela. Wala nangafo na diamo doko dinkol lebe area council. Na namo ka yema dinkol minkon. For dinkol sisuki, ni wo dinkol sukita, then we can be able to be registered development in our region. But nitara area dol to West Coast side. Kabrukul tije, jiol tije, dol bije nin samanara, ibeka tano. Nings fengo kera samanara taxiol ka ila pasol lafal. You can name them. Farato Bojankunda, Joguba Junction going inside, Kungujang, Nitara Kungujang Bohol Junction all the way down to Banyulunding. So many other roads. Brufut Lanyisilo in Mimpachak Moleteng. It's going to be a real nightmare for the people of Brufut. Nitara Wushiro to Busumbala La Marcel to Silo Mindun Dakara Konot. Big problem. The other one Mindun of Ikafamin Mini Stadium Moto in any Berong going inside, it's another nightmare. This is the problem facing every part of West Coast. And these are things that we need to think of fixing as soon as possible. We cannot wait. But at the moment, because Ninkarto fighter May 20, we will not be able to fix all of these things. We will not be able to fix the drainage. Brikama Marsa Oma Fanson topical of its own. Sakwa Sama Kona Alhalo. But not only that, at the moment these are like a Balitoli Kakemule. It will come Balitol phone damage. That is where the problem is. Ye garaso jive, Brikama la garaso, they escape ball on the water. Ekomole Famo be funded, not funded out Albukako. For Kanataraje as an eyesore to anybody who is passing through that garage. It's a real big problem because foreign Al-Katambije, the impression you give to everyone is that not only Brikama Northern or West Coast Northern, but Gambia from Banco Northern. This is something we need to move away from. But our major priority has to be how we deal with this upcoming rainy season, and then how we are able to ease the access to a lot of people, and then how we are able to help those that are going to be affected by waterlogs, flooding, and a whole lot of other things. Nidara Sukuta Nema and other places there, flooding Kaul Barandabakele. The same thing with Sunjubalia area. Nio Nino Wol Diamoda, Nin Samana Raki, Ikafemin Bay sang, Ika sacrifice Solomon Bake in a whole year, a Beleka Tinya, Nin Samana. So these are things that we need to deal with. Water management is going to be crucial. So one of the things we are thinking of is we need to try and then get and secure at least 5 or 6 septic tanks, because Brikama Area Council doesn't even have one septic tank trucks. So then also though, at least, because Samakono there is not much funds there at the moment. Their budget, their balances are in red. So we are going to inherit a very they are running on deficit. We're going to inherit a deficit there. It's not going to be surplus. So we don't expect to find millions there. But we're going to take austerity measures on the budget lines. Look at where there is wastage and then try to cut that. Because if you look at their budget line, you find that the chairman's office alone is allocated with 6 million sort of budget amount. So where is all that money going to? So we have to cut that. We have to look at the CEO's office. We have to look at all the other budget. Then we try to do a resource mobilization or try to reallocate some of these things and be able to get something that which we can secure these things and be able to deal with the flooding that vendors coming experience at the market, as well as waterlogs. You see, in Europe, Scandinavia, for example, Samaka snow like a GJ. Snow do nima ko, they will not be able to pass. They will not have passage on their roads or on their streets. So in snow they clear it. We have to treat rainwater like that. Now jitanam, because we don't have proper drainage. Now jitanam, then you have to employ a particular set of people. Many are well do ko seasonal let. Nin samanata abjolonta drong itolinen tanko nye mamang kasaba drong kataka bon kasaba ka bon. it will make a big
difference.
It might be little, but it will be a lot better than we were experiencing before. That's the short-term measure. Then we go into the long-term measures of proper drainage system, but we also deal with proper drainage will sort out the flooding issues as well as the waterlog. But we also deal with a project like the Talib Ballot project that they have in KM to deal with this waste management. But not only that, we also try to fix the feeder roads. But all of that has to depend on revenue. You know what I mean? We have to maximize our revenue. We can seek funding, but no one will fund a corrupt council. A council that they believe that is earning $1 billion, but is only declaring 300 million or 85 million. No one will fund us if we continue at that rate. Because we have to understand our development partners are using their own people's tax money to help us. So if they're helping us and they're seeing that our tax money is not being utilized as it's supposed to be, what guarantee or what assurance are we giving them that your tax money will be put into good use? It will not happen. So we've got to be exemplary in that. So we've got to deal with corruption, mismanagement, and a lot of things. And the only way we can do that is being accountable and transparent in whatever we do. But we've got to be able to come out to platforms like this and tell the people what is happening at our council. These are the problems we are facing. These are the challenges that we are facing there. And these are the things that you can help us with. Because I know, Silo Dolbiji, Hannatal Council doesn't have the revenue and we don't have funding from abroad. Citizens all Minubije, even if you charge them 5,000 or 1,000, if you increase their rates to 5,000 a year for 5 years, just to be able to fix their road, every one of them will volunteer. Provided that the money will go into what you said it will go into. If you have such an agreement with a community, as a council can act as a guarantee. We get a loan and then we fix their road and they pay that rate every year. But what is happening now is they're targeting affluent areas. They're increasing their rates from 400 to 2,000, but with no development agenda being pursued. That doesn't motivate people into paying tax. That's why a lot of people are rebelling against that fee. If you look at that fee of 2,000 a year, it's not too much for a lot of those people. But the problem is they're not seeing anything for their 400 and they're thinking, why are we paying a lot of money and we're just basically bankrolling someone's personal projects instead of our own project. This is the problem that we are facing in West Coast, and we have the potential here. We can make a lot of money, but we have to prove to people that that money is being put into good use.
And I think, yes, I want you to comment, but I wanted to make this comment. For an area like Birkama Area Council, I'm surprised that their budget line is around 85 million. If KMC is making around 300...
KM is 430 something million.
If KM is making around that area. Because I live in West Coast, because I remember one time my dad was complaining about how his compound rates has risen to 11,000 for a year. One of his compound and the other one was around 7,000. How many of those compounds do we have in West Coast? The entire Brusubi, the entire the estates, all these estates, Bijilo, are in West Coast. What is happening? Why are we not able to make this kind of revenue? 85 million for Birkama Area Council?
That's right.
Are you not surprised? Are you surprised about that? Because I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing that figure.
I'm a bit surprised.
I'm surprised because I know that.
And that's the reality.
From my own experience, how much you are charging a compound in Lemon for 11,000 and another one for something like 5,000. So what about the ones in Bijilo and others?
Unless they tell us that there is no compliance
mechanism,
when it comes to compound rates payment, because just like KM Talib said, they're also dealing with that. I think there's only 15%. So unless they also say, they're having that challenge. But I want to come in here. You started your, talk by, stating,
okay, what
would you...
comment ko mandinka, ko West Coast mo mandinka ni surwal. Iko nga local language. I see a lot of comments telling me mandinka. Yes, local language.
We'll be
mixing.
We'll be
mixing. Yalo loyal nini already amola. Ito ke pa angale ka kono ba.
So let's start into you said you receive a call from colleagues or friends out there that you should give this a try. And I think I, read one of your interviews on the Standard with Alhaji Mane. Yes, you said friends prevail on you to come in for this. But at some point, you also thought about it, especially based on your personal experience, surrounding rules, and all that. And you felt like, look, this is a real challenge, and I have to come in. And you said in that interview that you don't also want to be like just sitting down and just criticizing. Now you want to be in it yourself. So at some point, I'm a bit confused now, and I want this to be clear. I mean, is it based on personal conviction that you're going in for this, or is it because friends prevail on you to go in for this? It seems there's a combination of both forces here.
It's a combination of both.
Yeah, but which one exactly is motivating you more? Is it based on your personal conviction, or because friends or low and then you feel like a lot? The reason I'm asking this is because sometimes this happens to a lot of politicians out there. I wouldn't expect that to be your case, because at least with the level of education and all that, I expect that politicians many along for that level of daughter, they should be different from the rest. Sometimes think like a politician on that. You come because more local conco. If I try you low fancola, low president, wala low deputy, wala low consular, wala low chairman yala. And then you feel like belanga dunga kono because friends ole nata you kon yoka ke and don't bala nola nga jele from one of the candidates. I wouldn't mention name, but I remember them ko kabina nata noma e ka ko ante bala nola ale fengo for dorong mbabula normally. So at some point people want to be clear. Is it because Yankuba Darboe as an individual, as a member of the United Democratic Party, is convinced the UDP Nyameng as a party, to the point that you are part of the party? Is it the same way that you are convinced that you really can do this job and you're into it? Or is it because friends prevail on you?
The reason why I say it is both. You see, no one was born with a conviction. Conviction is inspired. So friends talking to me inspired me. But in time, conviction grew. You see what I mean? Conviction can be derived from indoctrination and a whole lot of other things. So in time, conviction also grew. When I step in the campaign trail and I looked at, there are places that I have been that I have never thought of even existed in West Coast. And I have seen their plight that I never even thought existed. So yes, if I was thinking I was going to be able to help maybe the people of Jeddah, I then realized that there are thousands and thousands of people who are like Jeddah. That made my conviction even stronger. So if you said which one, is both. It's not anyone now telling me you have to do this, you've got to do this or that. It's the plight of the people that now is the driving force that keeps you pushing. And that's why I said, I have to push for this. Because number two, you see the people and you have to appreciate the fact that their hopes are now on you. Mm-hmm. They believed in you. It's not just two friends that talk to me who have that faith in me now. Mm-hmm. I have thousands of people that now believes in me. That makes the conviction even stronger. You've got to do it, not just for yourself anymore now, or the friends or two friends. It's for the thousands, the people that I met in Mandina Ring, the people I visited in Farato Bojankunda, the people I visited in Kunkujang Kedaya. This is their fight now. I have to fight for them. I always fight for people. Yeah. That's by my nature, that's what I have always done. Mm-hmm. So I have this is like a new calling now. And this is, I think I'm stuck in it now. There's no way out. I have to keep fighting.
Interesting points here, Mem for Jang, that when they reach out to you and then when you decide you're going in for this, you visited places and see what they're going through. Yajako is not only Jeddah, the area that you are. Mm-hmm. And this brings me to the point of, Jang, okay, our local politics is structured around, okay, Mulba, Mulka Jinyadile, Mume Alonko understands our plight, has been living with us. Because when Jenaba sat him, Ako, she is the only candidate, Mayor Lonko, has been living in West Coast throughout her life. Because Yankuba, Angleterre,
yes.
Amejite, Canada, CDC, Angleterre. At some point, people want to see somebody connect come back, understands their plight, has been living with them, and they want to question. Imari Muneke, Janika interest so to this position. Now, Nimmobe Yankuba Yinenkala B. Ite Muneke West Coast, inim gal alunda munel kono, munela jar jaro to West Coast kono. Me alonko be men feel the plight of the people of West Coast. In the past, ita fanan dunta konole. I know the Jeddah experience, you mentioned that, but in ye munelke, what contributions have you made at community level? Okay, Brikama Fonkono, maybe within the region of West Coast. Ye muneke me alonko mose a point na foko. Yankuba has really tried for the people of West Coast, at least all communities in West Coast. Me alonko said la noala ngana plaso diala because coming in a moment Delta kadoku okay. At least wakati neka hopes rata demanding. So people want to know because I don't know, to be honest with you. Malo ye muneke for West Coast ye ila munela community engagement. And people want to know that because coming see this and he started mentioning, some certain things that he did when, while before, I think before even traveling to the UK or when something like that. So yeah, Muneke, community level. What is your community engagement?
I built a market in Kafura. That is one starting point.
Personal?
Yes. It's true a contribution with other people, but it was greatly done by me. You can ask anybody in Kafura, they will attest to that. And the reason being is, Tubabo Tadanunje, and he saw that our women were just spreading their wrappers on the street and selling. And he decided that through one of our guys there landing, he told them that this village needs a market. And they desperately need a market. So I had to contribute and put a market. But this notion that, and this is a very dangerous notion, you see, if you live in a bush and you want to build a city like London, and you've never been to London, you will be made a bush all day. Genova Bass philosophy, another opinion I mean for Gambian, it's a very dangerous one. Dunia, we have to learn from each other.
Yeah.
Moment tamaded will currently.
Yeah.
So I think that should be the disqualification first. Because how are you going to ask every one of these youths what do they want? What do they understand as development? They will tell you we want to be like Babylon. Every Gambian wants Gambia to be like Babylon.
Yeah.
But the Babylonians are not going to come and build it for us.
We have to bring experiences.
We have to bring experienced people. When the coalition government came in 2016, that was the big failure they had. They said they're going to create what they call a CV bank.
Yeah.
Where Gambians will be able to submit their CVs. That would have given them an opportunity to know the expertise of Gambians that we have abroad. But the notion that because I live in West Coast, I have lived all my life in West Coast, I am the one who can develop West Coast. I think we have had that for many, many times. It didn't get us anywhere.
Yeah.
Because someone who had lived in the West and understand how they build their societies is the only person or is among the people who will be able to help us to change it to that Western standard. If we want to be developed, we have to engage people who understand.
Yankuba, at some point I will disagree. I will disagree in the sense that we have seen, Africa had experienced that, even from independence. Nyaton called Soto Melialonko Karanta Banda, Dor Karanta America, Dor Karanta Angleterre. In that they woefully fail their people.
Name some. Name some. I can name you some that have also succeeded. Jawara is one of that.
Succeeded in
our own history. No, but in our own history. In our own history, Jawara did well. Jammeh did woeful. He'd never been anywhere prior.
Okay, Barrow has been to the UK.
But what was he doing?
He didn't study. I'm not study, but he has been to UK because he left from Memphis. But somebody who has been there.
Compared to Jammeh, Barrow is better.
Near Jawara Famafo. You see, one has to be critical here. I mean, not to be disrespectful, Jawara has done well and all that. But ntolla development kabrin jawrobe bolajan 1994 or so ntolla development be what stage like is that something that we can even be proud of?
Yes, we can.
Even, no
listen to Talib's interview the other day. You know what he said? He said, you know what he said?
That is why I said
up
to 1994 Honey University from Don Masaton.
No, but
that was a big shit.
No, but we were going to university still.
And
we were getting
the sons of ministers and the elites who were going to those universities.
No, not only sons of ministers.
No, not
the
poor were not attending university in this country. But that is a hard fact. But I don't want us to stick to Jawara.
Yes.
But I'm telling you that even in Africa, Mansa Jamal le meli alon ko dol 40 bantale.
But that's why I said name me few and I will name you some.
Africa ndole mun register no. Ndole mun register no na development of since independence. Okay, yeka Ghana mem fani Ghana Nkrumah studied outside. Do you understand? I am not here to belittle or downplay the contribution of post-independence leaders, but ye muna achieve no la banko e meya lon.
Nkrumah has achieved a lot.
You see, ye bondi muna kono, ye bondi mumbatale kono. Ni nata corruption ola. Ni nata, I mean, underdevelopment na. Ni nata lack of human development. Ye muna achieve no la banko le na manke ko.
You know what?
Ye loan soul letter.
No, but
ye loan soul accumulate.
But let me interject
there. Because ye Jane before that the notion that you've always it a life be live journey. In fact, that should disqualify you. This is where I have a problem. Wait, because so
no, but he disqualified.
No.
He disqualified us.
No. I'm
because
not
he said, I am the only one that has been here.
He's a politician.
That's why I use the language.
And saying that, I tell you, West Coast la problem I understand. That at all, I mean, she did not even mention you. Then tell her for. Tell her kayako, itela kangaji loko even for it's true because la opponents only baby bandala at some point. But what I'm trying to say is that niko mo jibele because amantama tamu mu karamoldi.
Exactly.
Karamo fongo damma nyanda mola balu falinal. But nga karanaje le jeme ko lenyi banko fail. That's number one. Nga karanaje le ke me ko ye banko jamal le fail even Africa kono. So many alon ko findita banda fanang. Yes. Yes, some contributed, but some woefully failed their people.
Yeah,
they became dictators.
But
even the
leaders. Who were the leaders who fought for African independence?
I mean, they were there, of course, the Nkrumahs and others.
Where did they study? It all started abroad.
Of course.
And even our Gambian context, even in our Gambian context, it is the people in the diaspora who enlighten. Even in the Gambian context, when we want to change, when we want to change, even in the Gambian context, Kabiring information was all black out here. It was the people in the diaspora, innovative ideas, So near the area, you understand?
This idea of dividing us as diasporans and Gambians
should be.
We need to move away from it.
We must move away from it, but no problem menti.
No, but to say you don't understand the local politics because you have not done anything. What have you done? We need to move away from that.
But remember, it's another point. The fact that Jenaba Mantama only here, West Coast Kono, disqualifies her. I disagree with that.
But that's what
because I feel like you are also.
She was using it as a qualifying factor.
No.
And that's what I'm saying.
Jenaba Memphis. Jenaba Memphis. West Coast long. Then I was the one who said that, not point in because he opponent soul. At some point they lived, outside the country.
But I think that notion, Esa, the notion that if you don't live in an area, it's a problem. That is not right.
No. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm just saying that
it's a notion out there.
It's a wrong notion.
That's a very wrong notion.
That disqualifies.
Because
disqualification.
No.
Should be among it.
Why?
Because if you are not exposed, listen here. Do you know why Talib understands the Mbalit project?
I know he has been out there.
Not only that, he said he worked on the Canada's Waste project.
Yes, he was in the council.
And he brought that in.
So the fact that mol feel ko ninko ko mol yalan ko karanta bantare ko karannal mele banko feel ate banna
karamo manke buko
tamu fa mbol so ni karanta bande tamatale
karamo is best done by observing.
But this is what I'm saying, ni karanta banta tamatale bi ndata dan karanta banta tamatale ngajele ko London be nyaming city council be nyaman all that at some point ni left amba lon na le fay kadu ko ka nyaming because I'll observe. But what I'm saying is that
So let to move the topic on and to appease you, I can withdraw. I don't need to appease. Let me withdraw that disqualification part. But
exactly
being abroad, what I also want you to do is, you needed to point. You should have pointed it to Jenaba that people living abroad understands the development needs of this country far more because they've seen.
No. But how do you measure that, Yankuba?
How do you measure what?
How do you measure that people?
If I haven't traveled, out of this country, I wouldn't know that in the UK, transport itself within the city is run by the local government. Mbalit collection, waste management collection is run by the local government. Education, all the educational schools are run by local government. If you even want to apply for a school, you apply it through the local government. If you're car stranded, you know what you do? You go to the local government for social services. Local government, you know, in the Gambia when I was here, I didn't know that local governments can even build houses for us to have housing from the local authority. In the UK, I learned that. I understand that if you even need a house, you don't need, it's not like Gambia where I was born and brought up, where I have to depend on my father to build a house for me. I just go to the local authority. I don't have a house, I need a house.
This is my point.
You know why we want to bring that in? You know how we got to know that this, this waterlogged thing, that we can deal with it through having septic tank trucks and be able to drain those waters. It's because I have seen local authorities dealing with snow, a much more difficult one than water.
This is what I'm saying. Well, I'm going to further. Well, I'm going to if I tell you that,
I wouldn't be able to experience that with Birkama.
I'm going to further. That's why when you mentioned the point of coming in Scandinavia, for example, snow jite kakole.
Yeah.
I relate that not only to Sama, but even Balito. Balito Africa nyanda kola because akamona silole muta.
Exactly.
But ninko ko fanang because it's good that you withdraw that. Because if you tell me that, for example, that should disqualify her, then I will have a problem because you're telling me that it's only people who have traveled out there, who have experienced that, can manage our affairs. I am telling you that development is also context. You have to also understand the context. So, for example, somebody who have been to UK or out there, yes, will understand that nyinga kejane and golfana nyanta sokale. But that doesn't mean that nyinga man travel je watalon nako.
No, but
you
see, Esa, you don't understand Jenaba's wording. I understand it. I'm a politician. No, she's disqualifying all of us.
No.
She's a politician talking to the public.
I'm over
the fact.
I tell you, West Coast understand. Because I remember West Coast. I remember some people. I remember someone were commenting at a school Mesodol. We were even commenting saying, no, Jenna, but never the West Coast, the can't sit on Banjule. So I remember that conversation.
Yeah, I understand it.
But I cannot disqualify. Especially that she's the only lady.
She's the only female.
She's the only lady.
I
quite agree with you. The notion that coming diaspora Gambians fenkoning disparity in coming dunde. I definitely have talked about that in many places. Just that no problem in Sotom. Well, when you want to disqualify,
I think
that's why I have problem with. But
I
just want to say something. No, it's not related to Jenaba. Because I have a you're trying to say it. I made Jita Sita Jana for Jang. And I felt like Jita Kanata Modulatole. Lafaka for the Malamunekata Sawundana. Yalong Fatou, diaspora, yes, we respect your contribution. We value your contribution. But at some point, let us not make I don't want to
distinction between two.
Malafaka, these people, anybody like us versus them.
Yeah.
But in Kakali diaspora, let us not make them believe that they are leaving their lucrative jobs outside and sacrificing for the Gambia. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, this is not a force. Nobody is doing sacrifice for anybody here. Yankuba is family sort of Gambia.
Yeah.
Okay? If Yankuba leaves a lucrative job in the UK or Jita leaves a lucrative job in the UK, Yankuba is not coming sacrificing for Esa to better Esa's life only, but it's also contributing to better the life of his own family. The same thing with Jita, the same thing with Sidi. The reason why I'm back for many platforms are kafojele. Jita ya fole. Okay, and I remember also there is one politician who has always been Eko Agiwule mostly. The reason why nga jana be bula to come here is to sacrifice nga nsena do ku kendo mutano janale nga na salary kendo mutano. That is why I like the point when you said it's not only about the money. For you, that may not be the most important thing. Yeah. Because you have some politicians, welcome to diaspora, as if they are sacrificing for Gambians. We are all sacrificing. So you could have gone out there. But this spell that not necessarily you, but I mean a lot of people like our Fenka, and it's important that we put it out there. To contribute to the development of the country. You're not here to do any favor because it's not only going to affect Esa's life but even your own family. At the end of the day, you might be living a better life in the Gambia than even in the UK or US. So it's something that it has to be put across and people have to get it.
But before he comes, I want to say something to that. I think it's also important to encourage diasporans to come.
Of course.
The reason why it is important, we have a pool of
expertise.
Exactly.
Some brilliant Gambians.
Exactly.
Some brilliant.
And I think one thing that this government failed to do is to tap
into
that.
Yes.
Because when the change happened, a lot of people wanted to come. And the fact of the matter is we cannot dispel the monetary value. Somebody working in the United Nations getting over $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. If they are coming, they are expertise, they are experts. And they are paid. Let me just finish.
Okay, finish. I will come to that. I'll come to that.
Yeah, but I will also come there.
They are paid expert rates in other places. I mean, I don't make a karane for your force, your family markoi, your banko markoi, your community markoi. But if you're leaving those kind of jobs coming, at some point it's also a sacrifice, a personal sacrifice to your family. That is the fact. Let me finish. At some point, I mean, it will be lifted in Europe or some part of the world, right? Yeah. In America. Even if you look at the pace, it's different.
Very different.
But again, at the end of the day, for example, some expertise soto banko dolukan ni wol be la doko dol bele binakan. Sometimes that's why kafoko alek some concessions make for them because they also bring something banko nyanta mean benefit la. So for some creation,
I think you are looking at diaspora from a very narrow angle.
No, I'm not looking at it. No, I'm not looking at it for it.
You know the diaspora. Listen to me. Now let me come.
Okay, let him come. Then I can come after.
Ninko diaspora.
Yeah.
I am part of a community of Gambian scholars email list.
Yeah.
You have brilliant Gambians out there contributing immensely.
Yeah.
Okay? When I listened to Larry Ciso of UDP on Coffee Time, I was amazed.
Yeah.
Last week I met him. When I listened to him, I told somebody, I said to the person, I'm disappointed in the UDP. You know why I'm disappointed? How can you have such brilliant minds in your party, yet you have other people riffraff talking on behalf of the party, not to insult anybody. But these are brilliant minds who can come out and communicate effectively. Because I feel like the party is not even effectively communicating. So what I'm trying to say, Ninko diaspora, don't look at it from those experts only. Uber taxi driver lebe America, I am paid better in the US. So Ninko diaspora cannot debate from the angle of those experts only. What I'm referring to here.
No, I'm not looking
you have better jobs there. You are experts.
No, I'm not saying that. I am saying even the pay rates.
No. Even Uber driver will begin. Now let me tell you one thing. Uber driver will begin. Now listen.
Yeah, they get
Uber driver. No. What I'm saying is, some of these politicians, they come and get closer to the corridors of power. They receive more here than in the US. Yeah. That is the fact. They only come in because they can easily lose. So what I'm saying is, they come on model I've listened to them. They come on platforms and tell us that I live better jobs in the US and came here to sacrifice. When in reality, it's way more than what they are getting here because what is the but here they can loot our resources. So about that aspect, specifically, I'm trying to address you or Jito or any expert out there. But ninga fo mbekumo faraba nyandan kanne. So that people out there they understand the more life in the US, how life is in the UK, and how life is in the Gambia. So I hope you understand from that.
I understand. I want to make that clarification. I'm looking at the diaspora narrow-minded. That's not true. I am looking at the broad perspective of diasporans. The expertise, I'm talking about
the narrow angle. I said narrow angle.
I'm looking at the resources and the expertise they can bring if it is tapped in this country.
Of course.
That is the angle.
Nobody is disputing that.
That's what I'm saying. So I think I want that.
How about the non-expertise?
The non-expertise can still bring the experience. The simple hair care.
They are not sacrificing for anybody.
Just like you are sacrificing, you are also sacrificing. I am sacrificing. Someone else is. So everybody has to live something. No, they are doing a favor to the country and their community. That is the fact.
Favor for themselves.
No, they are doing it to the community. That is fact. That is fact.
I will disagree with you. Ye politico je, sako opposition ya, sacrifice them.
Yeah.
Because you don't get any money.
Of course.
We are spending our own money for our own campaign. We are doing a lot of things for everything. We don't get anything in return. That is the sacrifice. That is what Lawyer Darboe did. You don't have to be in diaspora to do that sacrifice for country. Even those in the Gambia here, they don't have too much, but they still will come with the little they have.
Yeah.
Some they don't even have that is the sacrifice. There are people
yeah.
They paid the ultimate sacrifice.
They were Gambians here.
They were Gambians here.
Who were living here.
So
living in diaspora.
So remember diaspora. Five million work lella. Five taxi driving lella. The moment they are into opposition, they are sacrificing something.
It's not only opposition, Yankuba. This is what I'm saying. You have some of them in government.
No, government, they're not sacrificing it. They're getting paid.
But this is what I'm saying. Some people are fighting. Well, this is my point.
We are not being paid.
I am saying that those are people, more convinced. They are here to sacrifice for us.
No, but
so
look at these diasporans.
Yeah.
They're doing menial work abroad. But because of love for country and then love for opposition party, they would give their money to support us. 2016, nin diaspora nol mandol makoi. We will not be able to unseat Yaya Jammeh. Ni what demanded ni mamurum fanang. Dolu even after 2016, ikanale ninga campaign okay. They sacrifice their time, their money, their resources. They sacrifice the valuable hours that they're supposed to be having with family. They sacrifice all of it. Politics has always been about sacrifice. Mandela sacrificed all of his life to remain in prison 22 years.
Don't limit this to those diasporans that are into...
No.
Sacrifice.
I'm going to move from...
Is you understand that it's diaspora and diaspora is broad. Even those in government, I'm
going to move from this.
Those ones are not sacrificing.
No, but this is it.
They're getting paid.
I'm going to move from this. Let's go back to BAC.
I can agree with you.
We will have this conversation again.
Yeah.
Let's go back to BAC.
No, but Yajal Fatou, I topic of Kumade. Yajani political dadijan.
Yeah.
Eka kufula taraje.
Yeah.
The notion of politic of interest and politic of sacrifice.
Yeah.
There are people in this country who believe tako political is interest.
Yeah.
Na interest doron. So wala na makoy.
Yeah.
Woto jannembe karta odile give me money.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? That is something that is a dangerous notion. You are always selling the country to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
And that will be a dangerous. It's a threat to our democracy.
Yeah.
Because that is inducement.
Yeah.
And hopefully is an electoral fraud language. So we need to teach our people to move away from
that,
and then inculcate this notion of belief called political must sacrifice let.
Yeah.
It can sacrifice let for the greater good or the common good of your country. Well, na Lawyer Darboe nyole place for bula. Coming info, mole Lawyer Darboe kumandi kai na ka UDP la nyaton god. Coming mole on kumandi konga na BAC. But many years now, Motafala Lawyer Darboe doesn't have conviction in UDP. But beginning, he didn't have the conviction from the start. In fact, he's been saying it in many interviews.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? We want to have a coup d'etat.
Yeah.
And Edward Lieutenant Baroka, we have Juju Babula. We had all of that. But somebody has to be a catalyst in order for something to happen.
I just have a question. It's regarding Yankuba, yes, still chairmanship and all that.
Yeah.
Sometime ago. I know this question had been ask, but more lebe ilamoy kang, especially the people of West Coast. Nindo mbekta maninga kangola.
Okay.
You were part of the 3 years Jotna and all that. We also what happened. Mune nada ke wole mko at some point. Yankuba I think responded. You know, audio but it was not. I know it was. It's being asked, but from someone.
Of course. Yes.
And you're supposed to be scrutinized publicly. You need to hold your account based on not only your actions and inactions, but even your wordings.
That's right.
And to the extent that people now are questioning Yankuba leadership qualities, whether you are tolerant and open to criticism and all that. Because when coming as chairman of Brikama Area Council, I'm so even right now you are going through a lot because jam political community personal attacks, mostly like a quality. People must be attacking you. Okay, you just mentioned before this, one of the NPP top brass is even calling you names or whatever.
They've been using names.
Yeah, they've been using that.
Of course.
So especially in the chairman team. Let's say people of West Coast entrust you with the leadership of Brikama Area Council. You can chairman. Because now you'll be incumbent and you will receive oppositions. You'll have opposition.
Yeah.
I mean, how prepared is Yankuba for the pressure that will be coming and all that, to the extent that it can fall because Molko can fall. Sometimes we are so emotional and we wouldn't be able to get into it.
And ironically, you are training politicians.
Well, maybe public servants and all that. But anyway, so but that is it now. How prepared is Yankuba? I mean, are you that tolerant person? And it's something that people of West Coast can trust you and say. Maybe at a Fulanja level and all that. Yeah.
It only happened once. And you see, more don't look at what I said. They look at what other people said or what other people told them about what I said. Iko Gambian Jojo Lebane. You see, this is what they always said. Gambian Jojo Lebane. But the wording was, Maningakawanamko, Nadiate and Sambela Kangaroo Court Judge. Bama not a world. You see what I mean? Where did I mention Gambian Jojo? If they want, it come in for Maningakon to Farabanyan down on wood. Now Farabanyan. Maningakon, you see, no more Kamvara, Kafalo Kuba Doltalaja. You understand?
Yeah.
He's not specifically insulting anybody, but he's venting out anger and outburst. That is what happened on that one occasion. And the thing happened that was very, very wrong. They don't want to concentrate on that. But throughout my life, you know, I have to be a perfect person in my whole life that I've never used insult. You know, Jesus said, he who has no sin cast the first stone. How many Gambians have used insult? It's only mine that was caught on camera.
Because Itata is different.
Yes, but what I said is, if you're going to say it the way it was done. Yankuba ko ni na diate ya samba ila kangaroo George Bab. I banendro. Yes, but who hasn't used banendro in his life in Gambia?
But can compare all that. It's not Baro or anybody else.
Apologize. Molu Jamale Bijevini Alonco, Kuman Nakonye, ever more usual Tabmira Bola. Imagine Diamo Colera, Colera, Yamana, Kumasifa, Mawo Mireto, okay, Namal Bolo say. But Bimfongera, Yadi Ofon for the Lentamo Calam that Yalon Woolan, the level of angering was at another level that day. But that is another day, that is another topic of its own. But Mengera, I didn't realize it until when I saw the video, and then I realized that I used that vitriol word because I don't normally use those kind of words. I've done interviews on every platform. I have been at all kind of opposition. You know, the struggle against Jammeh was a difficult one, you know. We went through a very tough period that time. Obviously, because the office, when I was at Duncan Lewis, I was a trainee. They went and put my direct telephone line on my internet profile there. Jamena la mole ka telefono pick na woldo mi ka bama ka tile it ka telefono pick le drop o banandri balde telefono land so near underneath ite fenkono ite ifam force no ite telephone dango because your clients are also on the line. So niya fenkeno bama la kati olan. Ninyu nongo hello na ning bama manti ni nyo kontong. The next one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we went through all of that. Threats were coming. Hani kulovo te sare la nyumbanko. They told us all kind of stuff. Bama were threatened our sisters. All of that we went through. But we did it for the love of our country and the people. We said, Ibama protect, Mol Bama be alhalo dokono. What can you do? You have to fight for every one of them. And that is the sacrifice we did. But throughout that period, I have done many interviews. We maintain our cool, but we tell him the hard truth. I have been on the media for a very long time, but throughout that period, the only time they will say Yankuba went out of the way was that particular one. It's like I am infallible. I am not supposed to make that one mistake. I think Gambians have to accommodate one mistake. But
now you'll be subjected to scrutiny.
Yeah, but you're judging my whole career.
No. It's not It's just an issue. I point out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They need to be a bit more tolerant as well. That was
but
one.
As a chairman, like this is
nobody else. Nemu convert to the Bama killing Bondi Janko by now. You see what I mean? But no, I am not like that.
Now, Yankuba, Foloko, when it comes to West Coast development, basically eco-fentije. Now, looking at the women of West Coast, Musol batata fengobeti.
Yes.
Samanda ni ulta Musol tala na ni sebe silokang. Itela under your chairmanship, Musolu, what kind of nyatota and benefit would women of West Coast benefit from? Because niajibe fang hani dula dolto molka bofo jara nyolto dulalto ikana bilka marcel to anin dulalto Musolu ka beng West Coast baleke ebe mune kela ka Musolu livelihood ila garden la karola ila fendo la karola ebe mune kela
so follow ila garden to kema ko boholo to mukule de me ala kumata bari we need to train them to become commercial gardeners fana. Yaji nying na kudo nga jaba fe kilin do nga fenke fe do nga fen ye tara ko 24/7 ne je kata camera fo kunku bale be bulu kata me e ka struggle menke kewol fanka kunko men do e ka struggle menke tol ta ka shiawot, but at the end of the day they don't get too much. So we need to see as a council, one of the things we are proposing is we have a lot of hotels.
Yeah.
We have a lot of businesses here. Many of they need here and there. So we need something that is able to facilitate the access the products to the users or the customers.
Yeah.
So one of the ways we plan is every big market, let's say in the market, we create our own retail shop. That retail shop is manned by a council staff. He gets paid. We employed maybe 2, 3, 4 people who get paid. These women, instead of them to space the police will be by the duty for like all the family suffering duty like Samanda, Tilibulo, duty flow be police will go. So instead of all of that, what we want to do is, because we have to find a way that which help our people to save money. If you want to combat poverty, you got to help your people to start saving something. So how you do it is, near Nakodo, we run a register. So if they're doing tomato, and then we know, because they all know tomato about Karjumal. You know, if you know na mota ya kati ni ya kati ngai mako moto ina collect. This will be council vehicle. Moto ya collect aya samba either njenda njayolo menu laftala nga wafi wolia, or we have a cold storage and a dry storage, which you know is run by the council. The duties they pay goes towards maintaining those facilities, but at the same time we are able to help them from saving their fares and the time bata mem vananke kawo yungu kanana kasije all day, we can help them, we sell it for them, we get their money, either they come and collect their money or we give them their money. But this is done by council, because at the end of the day, mol be namo jokane pour namo nyi la balu yirwande ay sambanyat.
Yeah.
So nite ka namo jo council namo manke comme nyanta silo doron ne jolan. Nyanta silo doron ne do kula. Wara nyanta ninga silo be do gu sai namo be jogan nungolu. Sai what are we going to do for the people? By zero the data, street lights all the data, drainage keta, nga houses all low, and then people are still paying namo. Let's say we are still making 500 million every month. What are we going to do now?
Provide them social service.
Exactly. We provide social service, but we provide something that also helps them to better their lives. Because that's what NAMO is about. It's about advancing, developing, enabling progress in our lives. So by the create, we can be able to get, first of all, we will create employment in the retail industry for our people. Because retail is one of the areas that which we are all engaged in, but no one has a job in it.
Yeah.
That is one of the problems we have. Everyone is in retail, but no one has a job in it. But if we do that, you see, through that, we as a council will know where supply and demand is. And we can help them with that. Because at the end of the day, Molman need mental. Mental be tinya. Ina say, inimbono. E paso min fonjo, wole fon be ka. But through this, you see, these are initiatives, even if we explain it to our development partners, they will understand that this is something feasible, and we can get funding and grants for it. We can build these cold stores or sort of like a supermarket or market, but it's mainly for gardeners. But they don't necessarily have to be the women. Yes, you can create a stall there in there for them to come and use it, or you can employ other people who can do that for them, just to be able to maximize their revenue for them, and they can be able to take something.
I want to come to the point of your manifesto, if you have a manifesto. If you have, what are the main points in your manifesto?
I think we released one today, which is our 4-point agenda. It's like the manifesto in a bullet point.
Today?
Okay. Yeah, we released one.
I did not see that. How about the young people? I'm interested in your plans for the young people of West Coast.
So the young people of West Coast, one of the things, West Coast, we don't have any youth centers or recreational centers. So these are things that we want to build and construct for them. But our target for the youth is about job creating opportunities. So one of the things we want to invest in as a council is, you see, like West Coast, one of the things we are endowed with is land. Ndonga keno soto bagal. Nita phone keno to banaje. Sa India Indian ning Arabolu, Lebanese olu, aning Arabol ning Indian ning Chinese olu bemina. E kanale kene basang, e boholo keje, ye tractul fenang, ye few of our people employed. Ye jabo doje wara pompire doje ni wole o harvest e ka million la sotoje andu yo million je abe kata out of this country ndella mol min ka do ko keje, they don't get that much. Some of them from e ka ndola ka fuda boy sol min ka do ko ka karafi wol ka pompitero min sunya e ka waf e ka kudo min soto woto e ka la fela bunyam fon lolo adu mu sunya rol ti ñun fam bu ka min detect sakonatra, it is run by us. Just imagine how much we can get. And the initial investment for church is not too much. If you spend 25-50 million in any of such project, it's a new standard sort of. But you put it under a proper management, council just become a shareholder. We claw back our investment money there, and then we can sell our shares to other people. But we make sure those industries exist. We compete these foreign investors, and we also retain some money in our country, in our communities, and we able to enrich our youth so that they have something here rather than going abroad. So these are job creating opportunities we have. Yeah, boyo jele Mohamed Toure. For Mohamed Toure lemba. Mohamed Sanyang. The boy is in what is the name of the place? Gunjur. He has a poultry farm. Siso Mimbabul. It's about 100,000 Siso Mimbabul. Aka Siso Balandi Tibam Kesol. But Tibam Manzolo Imbango Akaboni and Chile or Brazil. If we have our own borehole, aka 20,000 minute spend every month dollars, aka Kina, he will be giving it to us here. it will give job to our people. So that's some of the things that we as a council want to invest in and be able to create jobs for our youths in West Coast. Because West Coast, tubab du tala deporting jurumo bento lea and boys will be ko jama baka na ka frustrate for dol nyakama a babies jurumo bento West Coast. So we have to factor all of that into our development agenda. But we have you
said you have a 4-point that released today. What is that?
So the 4-point is, first is about combating corruption at BAC and maximizing revenue there. So second, once the revenue is there, we want to invest 50% of it will be dedicated on infrastructure. It's a big problem. But 25% will be what we call human development. So we're looking at Nimul student on la scholarship bolto.
Yeah.
And then Nkajele fana mol kasasajang to a point that ikata social media but the local council cannot even give them 1,000. We want to change that. We want to be able to budget something. We are not saying we will send them abroad to America, we will take care of all the bills, but we will contribute something.
Yeah.
That which will help them. Hanimantano America, but they can go to Senegal to get a treatment. But we will not leave them like that until kela alhalu ni ngaibo bonde dunia be kono kana dani rola. Sometimes it because do luka bang. Banin dom fengo kana it's very late. So nin namu ba anyama kana nyama, we want to allocate something for that. The same thing with disasters. Molla kordal ka janu janne yebulo la burika ala dani malum bashod la nyama. We want to be able to have something for them. Mold flooding ngajal last time kabiru wo fengo na national disaster management wolle nyanta ka mol ma koy with this kind of things, but they are not doing it. Council at the local level, we want to have our own sort of department that helps people with that. We don't want to be a council that which doesn't think of the people at all. The other, that is the investment in the people directly, or the people.
Yeah.
The other one is investment in job creating opportunities. That's where I talked about the boreholes, fishing factories or fishing plants that we have. We can compete with all these people because we have all these the coastal zone in our region. We can create ecotourism in our venues. It's a matter of investing 5 million and then you have a proper lodge or a tourist hotel in, say, Buyam, or you have a lodge there. These are things that we want to do, but our intention is solely on creating jobs.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to chunk 30 million or 40 million on the youth and say, share it among yourself. It doesn't take them anywhere. Half of them near be back. But if we create jobs for them, they will go on holidays or they might go on studies. They might do something more meaningful that will come back and also help us a lot in the country.
But that's all of this cannot be done without Ninkudomanso.
That's why we have to. Yalo member West Coast. West Coast nita de la data jive. Ibatarla sato doli ka fo le bitik tanne bije. Atara bitik kema bije. Sato doli ka fo bitik tanne lul bije. Atara bitik kema fula le bije. So the budget is based on that bitik tanne lul. The rest of the other bitikol foi ka collect la ka du ila jibo kono mawolo. Foi kandonga lon ko ita collect la ya murundo maril. Kandu niyo mul ni ka fo en kanamo jo. So woka dun denko min kono. Fonsa wo denkol be sare. And we are able to, so we need a proper inventory of all our revenue sources in West Coast. It doesn't exist at the moment, but we have to have it. You know, that's our starting point. You hear people saying digital, digital, digital. You can have all kind of digital tax system, but if you don't know who you are taxing, you are still being cheated.
Yeah.
Are you not in for that? Are you not in for that?
Huh?
The digital.
You can have it, but if you don't know what you're taxing, you're still being cheated.
But is it part of your plans? Is it?
Of course, you have to have a digital system. They have it already in BAC. It's just a few weeks ago. They just terminated, but they had it.
Yeah.
But it did not make any difference. You know the reason being is that revenue sources are not known by them. You have to know your revenue sources. And these revenue sources cannot be every 10 years. It cannot be a census. It has to be annual. So you have to have a proper team for data and information. That data team, because if you are 10 years behind, you wouldn't know how many shops are opening and closing. You are leaving yourself to ila tax collectors. So you are their mercy. Ni na go bitiki fulan o kabiri musango bitiko mimije. You don't know the area. you are not familiar with the they are the tax collectors.
And I think one of the things for Namia is making tax collection difficult is we don't have zoning in this country.
Yeah.
You know, somebody came to my house and they had valued my house, let's say 10 years ago maybe, and they came today and gave me the same bill.
Yeah.
Of course, I was very glad to pay that payment amount because nobody wants to depart with money. But you would have expected that the revenue collector would have come annually or every other year to value properties, to say what development has happened in those areas, to be able to properly value those and make sure you're paying fair share of your revenue. But if you valued me 10 years ago $1,000 and I'm still paying that $1,000, I am not going to go to the council to say, no, I have built this house, come and change your rates. So those kind of things are not happening in councils. All of them.
All of them, yeah.
All of the councils.
And in fact, West Coast, we don't even, if you ask them, they don't even know that such a thing even existed. Zoning and all this. But you see,
addressing systems and all the stuff, you know.
And then the other thing is the lack of staffing as well. It's another problem at West Coast. You see, the last time they paid their rates, it's probably 2003 or 2000, or they've never done so. Council still doesn't know that those people exist. That's why information is power. It's very important. New information also, and tax collectors cannot cheat us. Because we'll sit down and know which compound you've collected and which one you haven't collected. If you have not collected it or you have eaten it, we will tell you go back and collect it because it's not registered. Other thing we can do now, this system, technology is helping us a lot. But technology, you know, we need to now use QR code and we get the scanning thing. All you do is you send a bill out to the compound owners. This is your rate. Try and pay it in 6 months' time. Within the 6 month time, your computer is ticking the clock. If they pay it, the moment you scan it, you know straight away that is paid. We make life easy for the bill payer and we make life easy for the council. Technology helps that. But all of that can only be known if we have the data. We know how many compounds are in Bruceby, how many, and then we start. Strict naming is something that which we are going to introduce. But more encourage lale, handi bakala food al mono deka program ndengo soro. Yela street o jibe, emo kilin jibe me alonko street o be abunya, and it gets along with everyone. Nga name on that one, and then we start having the numbers. You have number 1 Mamadi Manjang Highway, number 1 Fatou Touré High Road or Kerr Fatou Road. We can have all of that. We have so many names to think of, and we can name all our streets. Make life a lot more easy for all of us.
You mentioned land in your, I mean, to say that Aliye land sotale, West Coast,
yes,
of course, especially Fonyi. Land problem, land conflict. I know this has to do with central government because the laws, you know, the policies, you know, and the government has a role to play. Purukan land problem or solving in Bangkok. It's a very big problem, especially in Kombola. I'm not sure of Kombo East about Onyame, but I know Kombo South like Mavon la problem.
Big problem, especially Mahmouda.
Yeah, it's more left the people of West Coast probably are interested in the leadership. May alonko at least abe imako inola. I mean, engaging the government on how to address some of these, especially the estate agents wala. Ndeko surprise lo sometimes ngata hadula dolto. Yefuta dula do deka estate agents wengala tabla din taraje. Yeta no edu tarajana. And it's like at some point molka kordal fangol sang. Estate agents so dol bulu. Ekanamuru Kotenke still have problems with those lands in a blood to identify your Kotenke. So people might be interested in if Yankuba comes as chairman, what plans sort of in this area to work with central government to ensure that some of these land problems are addressed. But at least problem will be minimized.
We have plans, but you know, until the power J among Jamfabak.
Yes.
See what I mean? But one of the things that council Seminkeno and if a council just saying, me problem with that council is that we issue a certificate and land registration for this same land to Mr. Pate, Ning Mr. Jerenar over and the same land, because we never been there, we don't know what has happened. We issue the same thing. So they all pay in the same thing. That makes the whole issue even worse, because Dolbije ne alkalo la transfer fene bukala o damala ba nin council la kaito na de ka fele nyimbe kala nyin tat So one of the things we want to do is to liaise with central government. Nimuna register. We want to make sure the Ministry of Lands and Local Government approve this land is particularly for Mr. XYZ. Understand? That one, that particular landing. So this is where technology will help us, because satellite can be geolocate sign. So we need such a system, because councils, they have it, but I don't know how serious are we at using them or utilizing it. So nyanta mingera wala myendigo sign ninga kaito di minna, it will be in tandem with the alcalo, with the CFO, with the governor, and with the central government. No will be called this person ibe approval or dinner. So now the process might take a little bit longer, but it will be a lot more secure. Ninga council la kaito di momola.
Yeah.
Niyo mamandi dauda. Because CFO has authority ka land dispute nyinkafu ka title di in land. I was in our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Ikata chef kundale ni CFO ko karle tam cannot volta ka kati luat. Fonia appeal at the High Court ya overturn. Nim one the High Court lada CFO ka okeno mo marital. So CFO has jurisdiction over titles.
Yeah.
Atil CFO la court lem and in High Court and in Supreme Court and in Court of Appeal. It all level symbols. So ni CFO le approve. Alcalo ya approve, governor ya approve, Ministry of Land ya approve, council ya kaito deal. Ninga kaito deal, mbarangalo na konyeng kaito ngan sembentu ya la jamalto. So now, what kaito nyen taboy because alcalo la certificate transfer bejan, CFO la approval bejan. Fengo so hanna trete eta lose ni afena ninga na record obusadron will have. So we'll have to, Gambia, at some point we have to improve. This notion that change will come at a slow pace is costing us a lot. So we have to invest in data and recording. Neither the records will give kiti jama mul time waste kiti is because of the lack of data. There is nowhere else they can go and then be able to retrieve a copy. No official copy anywhere. Sometimes neither land registry. Yeah. It's a big problem, and it costs people millions. So we've got to be willing to invest in that. So the land department, land registration at the council will be a lot more stringent and a lot more scrutinized by council to make sure we protect people, especially those in the diaspora. Business all designed because I'm in the legal field. There are people many along wolu kanal drone keno jibe ton drong ye mo kilin lo mi keno nyina history london bingo ye donje ko entel tam nyin kenot ni tabe tubab du ye case nyin that and then they know ko case will take 2-3 years or 4 years ya tubab du taral wol man patience because they want to build it for their mom. So need to go every time always like I just need to buy another one. It had those and that has one no. Those people end up claiming ownership of that. There are people who are notorious for it. Nim police ol yam never that police like hey take what that's one bandi kewal. This is something that has to stop. But one of the ways we can do as a council, we don't have the monopoly over that area, but we can work with all the stakeholders and make sure we protect our residents, because they're going to be paying rates to us and we are going to ask them to pay rates every day. We don't want someone to pay rates up to 10 years and the next minute some party is saying I own the place and we have to refund that person all that money. It's not good for councils to be refunded. They don't like it.
Final question from me. Diversifying revenue, because you said all these things cannot be achieved in the absence of revenue. It's not only compound rates or duties being paid at the market, but fanang other economic activities kake West Coast le. Almost all the candidates mele alonko be sita jang nkenyini nkawala na I'm interested. Gunjur, Sanyang, Katong, Batu Kunku. These are places like Katong mining is there. You go to Gunjur, the Chinese, fishing activity there. Environmentalists will kabuli to the extent that security forces will kadunyola. Of recent, we just did a research on that citizen security relations, also looking at coastal communities, for example, Katon Benyaming, in a relationship Benyaming, and all that. I mean, what are your plans, Ninata Mining? Because the community members also crying that coming ñul be men ke kanje activity men ke kanje amantare na fa ka nganda be to the extent that it can follow put ya stop. And the fishing activity there as well, Fanang is causing some environmental, problems there and all that. Malong, what are your plans? Ninata San, Katong, Sanyang, Gunjurla, those coastal communities, Melanonko, West Coast region or Brikama Area Council can rely on Purka revenue tab J, but then trying to also, solve the problem, when it comes to those economic activities there.
Yeah, so one of the things member Keka at the moment, the government has more or less taken that right from the council.
Yeah.
They're taking it to themselves. So it's under geology. But geology is a subvention of an council. Namira, this year, I believe they gave them 9 million. 9 million of the amount follow. So 9 million, council will found that mass Italy determine ko 9 million of manana sell between all the constituencies or wards all because wards all will be mining mantra kekan. So near Kododi wala mining be kekan dami ka wala bal. So the mal agreed alko 6 lebije many alko they are affected by mining. So wala nyanda okodo nye share. So what 6 solu wala nyanta sila with their ward development committees in the council kajibe be will called ebe okodo nye utilize la nyame. Left to me, I think some of the places nyanta kela nyame like for example Sanyang ni kadun Sanyang imagine kware ba beteng. Tubabo dole from way water like he wants to turn it into some sort of a scenery. Me alunko it will attract tourists to go there and visit. That is something which we never thought of, but he wants to do that. Such kind of people, you can help them to come and develop that place. The other thing we can do is the waste coming collect, we can use it to refill some of these places, but not all of these mine places can be used because some of them are very close to settlements.
Yeah.
Near Sambajaka, Sunkono, like the one we are facing in Brikama now. Tambanala, Dulato, Brikama, West Brikama area, Kansuka Faidami, Waka Jalambang estate or Bela affect. War is a big problem for them. Stank Nyuman Beredo. So we've got at some point have to think of moving that to somewhere. Mealunko is an isolated quarry. Dami alamantana mo barandika. But we have to deal with environmentalists with this. And then Mustafa Mane is one of the people who is advising us. Mustafa Kartong is one of the people advising us on this. And then we will be depending on his expertise.
We were working with him on this research.
Yeah. But these other companies, many along they are in West Coast. Most of them are on the government's purview. But under the council, they have their social responsibilities that which they have to, there is a certain percentage they have to contribute to their communities every year. Most of them are not doing it.
Corporate social responsibility.
We as a council will be going after them on that. For example, Chinese company member Sanyang. Welcome to Bali use Kawala o Silo member na Sanyang Sate Okono Kata ila bada na Marcel. Ila moto Bali o Silo betinya in Gach. And they are not doing anything Kawashilo dada. Where is their corporate social responsibility? And it only Motobal Kanana Ninjela. The same thing with Golden Lake.
Gach will tell you that they built the police station.
But that is not
and they
enough.
organize a football tournament.
But that is not. But that is not enough. You
they
see,
should do better.
They should do a lot more than that. That road, because everybody is using that road, and you know that it's a usage where destruction of men and water. Well, see at one more taxi motor taxi what tinyala but motobal we all know well.
Well, I feel that the football tournament is also a way of bribing you.
Exactly. So, but we as a council want to make sure we hold each one of those companies that responsibility. Look at the airport. The airport is making money, but they stop there. So we want to hold them to that, accountable to that. So that is one of the ways we want to fight them.
That's what I cannot understand. I don't
know what is wrong with these people. I know.
I don't know.
But that one is among the priorities we have. Both of Vixla and winter. It's less than 100 meters.
Yeah.
What do Lani Yalun Fenko Bide? ni be me ala isa keno tenne fa ya ko
ani ala men silo do ni me alon ko jani ka fata jamam bayindo there's one silandim dolbe je sirinkande ngo yalan sukura sirinkande ngo siada kaduna mol ka wolta use sometimes ka lam fele auto use
yes
ye auto fana block ye karkar singol ke jetem pono singol
exactly
so motol be ko auto use on ndari member sonda nin kata non ko auto use so you are forced now especially sama kono you are forced pour ko silandi ngo nyinta yalo ka jitale je tinyado action ko kofle tengina
no it's very bad wala danga fuko it is high time that council dati to be serious because the needs of our people is a lot, you know. Yaje fuaria kafuta bake because of lack of council action. Ika moja la moto sang, ala moto itu pan. Fen buka pan in the silo. I remember in our council in London, nim poto siata silo ka ila moto pan. They got a council they sue them for damage to your car, and it's caused by the unkept or unmanaged fengoni. We can sue them. Here in Molebe fix layover. So that's why we need to improve and we need to change and we have to have change because the status quo is unsustainable.
One of the biggest challenge you as incoming chairman, New Winter, will be relationship with government. We have seen other councils like BCC and KMC, what they're going through. For example, number one, all councils for the 25% development budget of councils from central government abukana. But also President of Fonga it's difficult to work with opposition councils. That's why I'm on development at areas also and I love the councils with. What kind of leadership will you bring to BAC to be able to work effectively with your line ministry and also with central government pour kaje ko opposition oti women atina lako ntol region ye lose out on development. And it seems like that is what is happening from the central government part. Kaje ko nyuno mantara na patioto so development ka sambaje maybe abekelambulu can you empower? So wobe regional dol batandikane. What kind of leadership will you bring? Pruning yes, imo opposition to Bari. When it comes to development, you're looking at the region.
Of course, the interest of the region. Believe Tanyan Lako. Barrow was elected, if he said he is elected, he's elected by people of West Coast. If I am elected, I'm going to be elected by the people of West Coast. West Coast, the people of West Coast made the decision call. We have to work together. So we have to work together to serve their interests, to protect their interests. So mimu kota na flow the wolum nyondigo. Ntelu mingo nyanta minkela with the central government. Bafudalela nima nakodo found in a minala new pengo nakodo nyanta mindila nema dinna and nyanda dilana. But that is to the last resort. The starting point is we have to tell the minister, look, this is not about us. You are not giving the money to me. It is the people of West Coast. It's like development all of them. Almanyana ndela todi aya dinale West Coast gold bali. That is not even good politics for them. Because this is yalo todi ambe claim na nyo fele yalo nyimu ikobasa ke ming sizefe. Central government has to understand. Ni esilo deda. Hanna teri tulle phone de usilo phone. Ndol financial law we politicians inano nga fo goto aketan tolle jamano lam fananga harje osoto jel. You cannot deny us of what we are going to say. So that is just politics. But politics aside, this is about development. I want development in West Coast. I want West Coast to be out of where we are. So if we need funding and we need help, we'll ask the government first. We need this help. And then we'll try and get Gumworks to support some of our projects and see how they can resource funds and be able to get us funds to develop some of the things our development needs or development agendas that we have. We push it to the central government. The central government, then we tell them, seek the funds for us from abroad. Because you can also do that through World Bank, through IMF and a whole lot of things. You be the guarantor and give us the money, we'll pay you back because we have a revenue coming into our council. But the only thing we will not do is, we will not change our party and be their party just to be able to secure development. That is not how politics is going to work. They cannot expect us to do that. The people made the choice and we have to respect that choice. There is a candidate member on an MPP, there's a candidate member on a UDP. They chose the candidate from UDP for a reason. I cannot circumvent the rules and then just come back and then say, I want to be MPP when I am there because I can get development for my people. Then I am only following my own personal interest because I want to be re-elected or something. But our development going to start with our own revenue. If we need help with that, we tell the Minister of Interior, you need to help us. We need to get the police to back us to collect our tax or whatever. If we cannot do that, we engage AG chambers or we use other means, and then we go to the court and then we get some money. We also bring our own bylaws. We try and bring, because bylaws, West Coast and Tolman bylaws, we need to try. That's why everybody, all these companies are exploiting our system, because they believe that we are a community that doesn't care about the environment. We are a community that doesn't know anything about pollution, environmental pollution. Anybody, any Tom and Jerry can come with whatever company. We want to bring bylaws about some of these things in our region. But central government, we are like a mobile phone and a SIM card. We cannot work together. We will be like tongue and the teeth in the mouth. We'll bite each other at some point, but we have to remain there to chew and be able to eat. Okay, it cannot work.
It cannot work. Finally, from me, it's going to be politics. Are you worried? After the presidential, UDP, obviously, we say in West Coast, we are the kingmakers. After the presidential, when it comes to National Assembly, you guys got it all. Nata councillors election, of course, Aliyah dominate again. Going into the mayoral and chairmanship elections, separate results ila polls Nata. Yes, it said Yankuba likely to win, but the margin is very slim. Also, the intentions to win, intention to vote, CD was leading in that. Considering ila party, obviously, with looking at the numbers, are dominantly, ila West Coast, guys have the base in West Coast. Why do you think ila polling is not really high when it compared to elections? Obviously, council election, you guys did amazingly well. National Assembly, I think you guys got all of it except one. Why is, apart from the other areas, why is it that polling's numbers are really a little below based on compared to what happened in the councillors and the National Assembly election?
So we believe few things are at play, because a lot of places go in Malulong. You see what I mean? That's one of the things because there are a lot of places, Mamfuda no Dami.
Dami, yeah.
We've been to a lot of
especially
places.
Especially results new letter, the
Combonot,
Mamfuda no Combonot back.
Wow.
So we've been trying to double up that to go to Combonot a lot more. And then to get them posters, because postal fanang and t-shirt t-shirt jama print. Mam poster jamal fanang print. Because the demand was just too much.
Too much, yeah.
If we want to meet that demand, we would have just gone completely bonkers.
Yeah.
So we decided we will try to engage the people in as much as we can. But we struggle a little bit to get to Combonot, is what I mean. So one of the things we have done is to double our effort in Combonot. And I think that will then help us to engage the people of Combonot a lot more.
Okay.
So that's one of the things we want to do before Saturday.
Okay.
So we're going to do a lot of engagement in Combonot, and we're going to try and meet the people and talk to them and get to know them a little bit more. And hopefully that might change the trajectory a little bit, because the margins are very small.
They're small.
We can boost it, and then we can overturn CD's little margin as well.
Are you optimistic of winning?
Yes, we are very optimistic. We believe we'll beat them far, far more than what the CIPRAS predicted. But we are taking the CIPRAS polls very seriously, and that's why we said we need to double up at in Combonot. Because until yesterday, Mamfuda no Lameng.
Yeah.
Mamfuda Lameng,
Mamfuda
Mandinari, Mamfuda Bajulunding, Mamfuda, what's the name of them? Kunumfang, people were like, Ale. That was a lot. So we had to go and meet with the people. We find that to be a lot more engaging. The opinion polls will be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of constraints, because Menung Kurudan Nawale, Janen Kafuta would like to cancel the election or that. Okula, the chairman of an Nata Tamaka, nata sangol le fanan katanu nga desol min plan katanu je sangol katanu man nata no denu. The same thing with even Sukuta. We couldn't do Sukuta. We were not able to do Sanjaba, Bijulo, all these areas, maybe Bruce B. Musol Benkuman Lalna and Salaj, we have not been to all of these things. But we now want to dedicate to get to all of them because the calls were coming, but we were dealing with West Coast is a massive place, to tell you the truth. What about every gathering you get exhausted. But we are doing a lot. And I think Chennai election, we will see a bit of change. Because now we've been to Mandinaring, we've been to Lameng, we've been to Kubariko, we've been able to show ourselves to the people and just physically. Because more coming for all of you, major television, and
I told Silvo exactly what my dad said. That is, those are the police. People want that interaction. People want that interaction.
They want that.
And that's why I think the separate polls.
No, I think the polls were fair.
They were fair on that. They were fair on that because
we knew they were fair. We knew we were going to do well in Fonyi Jaron. We could beat all of them in Fonyi Jaron. And Cyprus reflected that too.
Yeah.
So when they said that, we said, these people, you cannot take them lightly.
Yes.
Where they said we are doing well, we know we are doing well at those places because we were at those places a lot more.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have not had the time to be there. So we decided, you know what? We now need to go and hit those places. Common note. We cannot take anything for granted. So yesterday, we did the caravan there. We're going to do a lot more canvassing now. Go to people's houses, knock on their doors, and talk to them. Because we have we have a brilliant agenda to sell to people. So we shouldn't hide away from talking to them or meeting them. So Mbokela.
It's our final message.
Well, final message.
Election is 5 days ago. 5 days to go.
Yeah. Just to say,
to tell people to go out and vote.
Yes, it's important.
These elections are very important.
Yeah, they're very important, and I feel like it's also about our democracy at the end of the day. The ruling party dominating
everything,
councillors, local government elections, will also not be good for our democracy.
Definitely.
And the opposition also need to buckle up because democratic consolidation will also require credible and strong or robust opposition parties. So this is an opportunity for the opposition to also, not only parliamentary elections to show that, we can compete with you in the parliamentary elections and the councillors election, but even chairmanship and mayoral elections. I think there is an opportunity for them. But like I said, ruling parties also, because it seems like they are learning their experience from the parliamentary and the councillors election. So they're also trying to do well. And all that I have to say is that no candidate should take chances. No candidate should be overconfident.
Definitely.
No candidate should be complacent. As far as this election is concerned.
Definitely.
It's about our democracy. For Gambians, everybody should go out to vote, exercise your franchise. This is a constitutional right. It's a civic duty or responsibility that all of us have because this is local government election. The local government authorities are closer to the people. They're supposed to bring development to us. Therefore, let us elect the right people. And I wish, you the best of luck and the rest of the candidates. We wish that the best candidates win in all the areas. Somebody who is really going to bring development for the people.
Especially West Coast.
Especially KM.
Especially West Coast.
We are
the kingmakers.
West Coast.
We are the kingmakers.
We are the kingmakers.
We deserve the best.
So you give us even the other type of...
So
any problem that happens in this country is Yankuba. No. You are the kingmakers, Yankuba.
KM competition today is they have a clear choice. Me I have a dog worker. Yale ko moto na la part man tinya ibuka fali. So nila moto la part be betearing. Maintain it. But you want to test the unknown.
No, ko radiator tinyata de. Radiator.
Bari go sirifo songo ka
radiator je dulala ka sulen you know.
Sirifo songo ka te min do chairman ma do ko nyim banko kan. So chairman sirifo
I kuto ke West Coast the more nene mo ke West Coast da.
Na chairman mula. Na chairman mula. Mune the final message to the people of West Coast. Mama Mimbe Jibero Jana from the woman in Kalaji, the woman in Mandinaring, Kubariko, Makumbaya, all of these people.
So left them for the West Coast, Nkole Sako Nanyolu, na funding Keolu, na ke Alfal. Wolem Nyuko, West Coast Ntul Batata Bakel, and no bata ngalo be alone. Ning Gambia bebe bataring, Gambia bela bata ben dolkan the West Coast fanan na bata ben kunka. Bari ni tara West Coast la duladol to nyamo min fa mi nyamo ti apuka kono nin KM ye Gambia la bata so bar KM la nyamo ka kono le comme ala mo fatu la diamo do nyami duladol bije koto wolu ko ka keme tan saba waran keme ne plosi ka wala jo pour ka nyamo koye kata fay bar kabrin talib nara sai ka tan lulle jo waran tang waran muang ila nyamo be fay omu savings led way ndol West Coast ni tata kersering e ka fo le tol ka kemo jole hanimbi pour fal sare tol yela nyamol sambe ta faye womu West Coast la batale mi alon ko council le sa bonde noy kan council ma bondi kan silol fanam bo le nyama na marsewoto KM kolu alnene bikele natalo je isingo be jio kono e be wafiro la marsewoto albukata je ale sunkango folo ya al grita kale ko albe kairato woka kentolle la West Coast bata min be West Coast nsesile nga fojam fo sama dibo ni tambita yundumula airport to doron ikalo ne saimbe West Coast konotol bayri bi ka lampuji ndole dibo le long na musolu ni tara la dolto iko subale ka wule kata marse auto talan nan ni fem ma ko mo wakatare borta sometimes la bakasol mi katare ko to ka boyle ye na wuli ye nyung ya deda al nga bala fa nyoy fem mo wo sabu fo dibo min e ka dun dibo min gono suba kata marse auto silol man beta e katara silanding because e camera nim fem kumata mole bije min lafta nyapile kan dolu ko ndongol ka nyapi kan ne la mobile phone ni la kodol be boucher la nyimbe mu kulete mi alon ko area council sema ko no CCTV 30,000 nenga ke siloka momo yo kuriya ke killing sinya fulan nyam be mari bondino la ngadi police le ol bonni nyeje na mero le safe na silo le safe ku jama geno jio borula fam boro boka bordula mindo aka kasaro le boy mol kam West Coast woto West Coast batami menkang ate dulatu nsa fo janne sama bar nga doma new min fali njikita wen sobendene woto lafta menkela ndolu ko nga solution o sotalienne annongale kansulo jurumole dinna nenno wole do ko ke ale o kansulo karto fay dalilo le kan o kansulo nin tolle se do ko ke no non nenni e do ko ke alla batada ko lu comme nga min faten mbol be jaralale annun se jaranole a soneata bake ni aja manke no na namon ka minjo aka dun dinkol le kono berkama area council fonse o dinkol sare nimme sare betula namu jola o dinkol lede ando o dinkol ba kunun nay ba disapiala neneta fensod la nga kumo dan jang ngalbe dani on the 20 nenta ka karto fay comme ngafo nyamin neta munku box neta munko boxol be siala nyawnya handi bokono neta munko woni fembe ko mulung ala jolonje nga fandi tape ala ba
yamal fanana radio to mon problème so je ko sulem ba ko dingol le be radio da kam dalla mo do la radio do
do West Coast dalla injuno hono man do da
okay thank you very much
ala barka baake ka fo mole drum on the 28th mole finti carte fay ñi carte fayol ku mata carte fayo beti nga president tombonne nga député el tombon bari ñun lo molti min ya lon ko tolle ñanta na silol de dal tolle ñanta na Marcel Senende la janni mba fala Marcel man Senea ñun dulal man Senea silo man betea ñun le ko wol sabuto nga finti nga carte fay next chairman oli ani meyolo momo diate carte fay bar finti ali carte fay sa ko fonden kelo ani musol ngal tentu ngal jay inshallah aram salungo mayor of KMC Talib Bensouda atelo na last percent nimmi fana be kasastola bayri candidate flop di minuma na bari atelo mo la bangoti min bina ngal tentu ngal jay la barka bake fo aram so inshallah bye bye.
Airport Residency Estate is a gated community located in Old Yundum, proudly developed by Swami India. Perfect for all looking for a quiet life with luxury amenities within an enclosed setting. When talking about benefits of living in a gated community, safety and security is top on the list. They allow extra privacy, take away the hustle of unwelcome solicitors, and create a safe haven for children to play in a trusted environment without traffic or speedy vehicles. A great sense of community develops through the meeting at a controlled communal leisure facilities, offering an integrated lifestyle. A green environment and well-managed communal areas are keys to higher home standards, elevated quality of life, and better property value should you consider home reinvestment in the future. Added to all is the location, just next to the airport and reconstructed main road, yet tucked in the tranquility of nature. Our purpose is one: your satisfaction. Contact us. Let us help you build your dream home in the Gambia.
yiriwa men kafutan na tarambulolu to nga GIA cargo complex parendile pour que julaya sone yandi kadungoni mfunti bundana doko sembentu ya Banjul International Airport to men si nyafa si moluma melka fengolu ki bantala bankolu kan anin julandingolu fana foysi sulan na cargo doko le bang katu masingolu bembulule ikafome ye forklifts melka selendiro ni jindiro ke bagasolu la melbe funti kan waranto ka dunnan na warehouse lu kono nga dinkira sumayari ngolu fana sotole ifula milla fano mu metar kemeleti karo bela adun isi cargo bagasolu tanole men sita fo ton tan woro ila sumaya fana futata tembeleto men ka fendolu mabono fo ikana tinya fo sene fengol lombang domori fengolu waranto jata kende ani bori ma fengolu cargo bagasolu la taradula kendo asulata jamani la bang korosir langolu lela na double view x-ray korosir la masingolu aka cargo bagaso kono jubele komi cargo doko sartolu ya landi nyameng nyin double view x-ray amu jamani la bang rapid scanaleti men ka karafula korosiro keno cargo sifa bela wati kilngo kono to na doku lalo imu ayata karandingol leti miliyela doku no iframansata cargo doku na tamandiri nyato na doku la betea wayem futandi RA3 makamoleto men satin na fo nse cargo bagasolu kinole kata UK aning EU bankolu kan GIA ka hakeli tenkungo dila na doku to ite nyina la men.
Every day is a new opportunity to make sure our first impressions are always our best and to see possibilities on the horizon. To make our facilities and services more accessible and find freedom all around us. With a location proximity to active markets with a liberal air transportation policy. That daily pursuit is how we turn everyday opportunities for you. For all destination marketing support, customized packages for new existing airlines and operators, and for a highly ranked tourist destination, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority is here to serve. We regulate air transport, operate and manage BIA technical requirements merged with commercial considerations. We have experienced and well-trained aviation professionals to cater for your needs. For investment opportunities in building airport hotels, shopping malls, playground for children, do contact us on 4472-831, 4472-893. Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. We go beyond daily.